remember when I was a moany bitch about the last chapter that we had with 165 because I was like, nothing happened? Well, this chapter decided to go, alright, let's just actually do something this week. Let's have not only like a quirk reveal from what we get to see with Cammy, which by the way, that was hilarious with some of the stuff we had. Some great like creativity from Todoroki in this, but Bakugo stealing like the entire like chapter with only a few panels. Like he stole the chapter with like showing how much that guy has grown through all of like everything that's gone down like through the recent arcs and everything. That was like, okay, it helps already that he's my favorite character, but that is a full-on win right there. So remember how I mentioned as well with last chapter that I felt like the biggest issue was like the pacing, and although we did get like a couple of nice few moments here and there, that this chapter decided to not only resolve everything, not only give us like hilarious comedy into it, have some great moments into it, but also some really unique ways of using like their quirks to deal with these goddamn children, because goddamn it, they are completely annoying. And they made an interesting like little like tidbit about the kids, like, because basically where it's like, as like throughout all the generations how people have just been developing quirks, and of course the quirk users have been having children and they've been passing on their like their genes to one another. Like the biggest example here is Todoroki, like Todoroki having a mother who had ice powers and his father Endeavor being completely made fire. Like you can see how dangerous like the next generation of kids truly are when you get to see them doing some horrific like kind of stuff with their powers. And it's like, this is going to be harder for heroes later on in the generation if like these kids grow up to be actual villains, because they're now got more unique ways. The only reason why they're having a little bit more of an easier time right now is because they're kids and they can't really control them that well, and they're not as great as everything like as all the like magic that like we've seen throughout the world, where like all these like magical-esque like powers we've seen from these quirks. And it's like, no, they're actually doing some really cool stuff with this, and I kind of like that about it, where they finally got enough of the shit and immediately it was like, alright, look, we've got to do something about them and all that. Like, we're clearly, our methods are all wrong. Let's try it this way. And immediately, Cammy's the one where it's like, you're gonna make, like, Todoroki look hot. Like, and it's like, oh my god, he's adorable. And no, it's an illusion. So I was happy with this, where it's like her quirk is glamour, and for a very short period of time she can create illusions, but like very much she can't like abuse this as it's absolutely forbidden. So it's like we've finally seen kind of a restriction on her power for the most part, where it's like this can be used for a lot of horrific things. Like she could just go, I'm the bank manager, open up the door for me. Alright, let's go in. Ooh. So you're kind of glad that she's not outside, but it also helps as well when like she wasn't in the original exams. It's like, wait, like when one of the members of the villain alliance came in, and I always forget her name. I forgive me. I know she's like a fan favorite, like one of the villains group and all that. Like not Tomo, but I know like the crazy girl with the knives that has the ability to change as well. Like it makes sense because it's like, oh, she's just doing Cammy's illusion magic. Like, that's clearly what it is. Like, and I keep addressing it as magic, but it's just like a quirk, because it honestly reminds me of like a magical trick, like a little parlor trick that someone would do. But overall, like, I kind of liked how she just addressed this with this girl. It's like, yeah, that was really alright. And it's like, these days, you know, our school forbids relationships with like opposite genders, so I've got to make these cute images in like disguise of that. And she just goes, man, I'm salty as fuck. Like all these other people, and Bakugo just decides to laugh. Like she's just like, he's like, there's like the way she's talking and all this stupid shit. It's like, this is fantastic. I love this, and I just love that Bakugo was just with a shit-eating grin through this. And clearly, it's like, you know, when we saw all of this as well, like they decided to combine all of their quirks together, using Todoroki's ice quirk, using like the wind guy's like abilities, not to mention Cammy as well, making this like beautiful northern lights kind of like they made like this huge like kind of like slide going down there, which I really kind of liked, like to seeing this, where it's like just beautiful like ice slide going down. It's like, yeah, let's just make something for the kids where it's like, we're able to do this, and it's like, well, wait a minute, how can they do stuff like that? And that's way too much. And it's like, no, because there were other things, like they're using the kids' quirks to help them. It's like, you know, this wasn't able to do because you kids are amazing as well, and you're getting the respect from them. And out of all of this, like, when we see, like, Bakugo, like, trying to get that one shit rich kid who's, like, clearly, like, he's like, I'm superior than everyone, like, I'm better than, like, most adults are and all that, like, we'll show them that we're the only ones that can be entrusted with power. And, like, Bakugo, this is where I say Bakugo had the best part of the chapter. He's like, he grabs the kid, he's like, get in there, you're participating as well, you're like this, like, he's like, get off me, you low class, like, you can't do that. He's saying, you're their leader, ain't you gotta do that. And it's just like, and the bit, and I'm gonna read it from, like, paraphrase, if all you ever do is look down on people, you won't be able to recognize your own weaknesses. I adored that from Bakugo. Bakugo, like, just immediately, like, everything, like, ever since he fought Deku, ever since, like, you know, getting kidnapped, all of this stuff, it has finally hit him where it's like, look, you know what? I have flaws, not all of us are. That's taking a huge part out of Bakugo's pride there, and you can see where it's like he's trying to be real at the moment, and he's just, and you know, like, he immediately goes back to comedy where it's like you know, like, this is your senpai's advice, and he's like, yo, everyone, just get the kid in here now as well. But it's something where it's just like a little bit like that can really just develop a character just easily for me, which I loved that so much. It was just such a nice moment for Bakugo where it's just like he's finally kind of like admitted his own flaws. He hasn't said it in like in front of like, you know, like Deku or any of the characters that are kind of truly mad, but like there's someone like him and it's like clearly going back from like he's seeing a little bit of himself in this kid in a way where it's just like, you know, I'm better than everyone. No, I'm the superior one. The weak, you know, should follow me. It's clearly that, and I love that, like, from Bakugo. Although, like, I think he needs a new name now because I don't think like King of the Dick, like Dick Explosions or whatever the fuck it was called, is more like appropriate for him now. But overall, like, this also gave a good example as well for like showing endeavor. Like, this was a great example of his son Todoroki, like, just giving this, like, showing what they can be with their heroes on there. And it's just like, and I liked it that it was like at the end and all that is like, wait, like the teacher's like, how? And then like Mike and like also like, everyone's like, yeah, we look forward to like guide them well. And she's just got her face palm. She's like, oh, this is the one kind of like couple of hours I get off from these kids, and I've got to think about taking care of them again. I feel bad for this like woman. I really do. She's gone through some shit. She needs some coffee. Like, and it was just, this was just a much better chapter because we got the resolution stuff with All Might and Endeavor. We had an amazing moment with like Bakugo in there, and that's a single panel, and that says a lot. If Bakugo can get one of the standout part of the chapter for me in a panel. And not to mention, we saw some creativity from, like, everyone else. Like, I liked the fact that we finally got to see what Kami can do. I liked that Todoroki was using the other quirks to his advantages. He was, like, he's comfortable with using his fire now. It isn't just something he, like, brings out if he's, like, in a rage, like he was in the tournament. Like, he will happily use it now. Like, same thing when he was, like, using it against Stain as well, like, to help him. Like, this is the kind of thing I like, seeing from these characters. And, like, it was just a nice, like, little addition, and it was good. Like, I will heavily say this chapter was so much better than last week. I know people still feel like this is kind of fillerish, like, for the most part. I know, and I remember that was, like, the complaint from not last week's, but the other week's one as well, where it's like, oh, kind of, why are you praising it so much? Because I like character interaction. I like when, like, it's, even if it's like been after a big event, and of course we want to see the big finale, we want to see, like, all the kids, but your world building, you're giving characters development, and you're also as well like just showing where these characters were from like the first chapters we were introduced to them, and now look at them. Like, look at Bakugo from chapter 1 to now to 166. Look how much of a different character he is now, and I like that. That's part of growing up. So I honestly, full thumbs up to this chapter. I really enjoyed it. Definitely some great moments. There is a part of me who's like, oh, thank God we're done with the kids. There is that part of me as well, where it's like, oh, thank God, because I would like to, you know, maybe we've had these nice moments, maybe address it, because clearly this was meant for the characters that kind of got left behind in the last arc, because hey, they had their time to shine in the one beforehand. So let's get in on that, and I'm very curious to see what the next couple things we're going to be doing in Academia are. But that's all from me though. Thank you as always for watching. Really enjoy this chat. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys though next time.